just wanted us all to raise our glasses to the incredibly good-looking bridesmaids and us very dashing groomsmen. I think we pulled it off quite well. Can we cheers the bridal party, please? And here comes the speech. Excuse the voice, sorry. I went to Guns N' Roses and hence the result. Right, so apparently as best man, this is the first time I've ever done it, but apparently I'm meant to be the funny guy. Tell you funny stories about Chris, like the time out of the blue, at about 4 years old, he insisted on being called Spot. The dog, and we were to pet him, and he would only eat his dinner on the floor out of a bowl. Or the time I dared him to put on my brownie uniform, and dance around on the balcony, and then I locked him out so all the neighbors could see it. Yeah, it wasn't good. But I don't actually feel like funny stories are going to quite get across what I want to get across today when my little brother's getting married. For 2 weeks of the year, me and Chris are actually the same age. We, anyone who knows us knows just how close we are. Like, we're like tight. I absolutely love him. And growing up, it was like literally just the two of us. We had that traditional, like, you absolutely hate your, as your kids, we had that childhood hatred. But when we hit our teens, we just created this really incredibly strong bond. And he is actually like my rock, and I would say that I would be his. But in saying that, we're two very different people. Like, I'm very A-side, so like I love maths and I love science. I like black and white. I like answers. Whereas Chris was all into arts, and he like lived and flourished in the grey. And I think in some regards, I think that I had it a bit easier because I knew exactly where I was going. Whereas Chris was always a little bit muddled. He didn't quite know exactly where he was going. I had the clear plan, but Chris didn't. I knew the direction I was going, and Chris, like, honestly, through his early 30s, literally every 5 minutes he was changing his direction. Like, how many different majors did you have in your degree? About five different majors, yeah. And so, in some regards, I think it was easier for me, and I perceive that it was harder for him. There are literally 2 times in his life that I can think of where I saw unwavering certainty, direction, and purpose. The first was when Ethan was born. Chris was still really young, like he was early 20s. So he was young, he was still lost. But the second Ethan arrived, he became a father, an amazing father. There's nothing he would not do for Ethan, and he's raising an awesome little human. The second is when he met Steph. So he just moved over from Australia, and I was having a house party at my house. Steph had just started working at Flight Center, and like me and her hit it off straight off. So at the house party, of course, she was there. So of course, yeah, she was there. So I remember we were out on my deck, and there was quite a few of us standing around chatting. Chris and Steph were kind of on opposite sides of the circle. They hadn't really chatted much at all. And then just out of the blue, Chris quoted some random Anchorman quote. And then Steph literally, without a second's moment, just quotes one straight back to him. And this literally went on backwards and forwards for a good 60 seconds, like quote after quote after quote. And I to this day, can still remember Chris then like pointing at her going, "You're a keeper." And that was like the first day they met. And like, here we are today. So Chris and Steph are one of those couples that they literally are meant to be. They're perfect for each other. They're exactly what the other person needs. I mean, like, honestly, let's be honest. Anyone who knows Steph really well and anyone who knows Chris really well, who would have thought that there's 2 people that could exist in the world that have such random obsessions? Like Harry Potter, Star Wars, Anchorman, movie quotes. Like, seriously, they're like the same person, just different genitalia. Like, I remember Steph and Chris used to flat with us, obviously, and they'd get rides into work, and they would have entire conversations in the back of the car, quoting movies backwards and forwards, like an entire conversation. Me and Amanda had no idea what they were talking about. But the point is that they actually did, like, they got each other, they connected, the banter is just, yeah. So today my brother becomes a husband, and I could not be happier. So let's toast the bride and groom. That was done by, Steph's dad. Rick, but can we do it again? Because honestly, these guys are just amazing. I think they need another toast. And Steph, just like on a final note, just one final note, I have to say, like, I honestly believe that my mum watches over us. She's smiling today. She would have loved you.
Victoria, everybody. Amazing speech.